We're going to be mentioning Bundesliga, no?
We are going to be mentioning Bundesliga, and if we want to talk about bungling it, then that's definitely where you need to start. Because on the last day, I honestly, anytime I get excited for a fixture, anytime I get excited for a game, I am kryptonite. I absolutely am kryptonite. I am not necessarily like a Dortmund fan, but my wife had to actually mention this to me. She said, anytime you root for a team or you actively say, I want to sit down and watch this game, they wind up not doing so hot. And there you go. Dortmund down 2-0 in the first 20 minutes, shooting themselves in the foot, digging themselves a hole that we all knew that they weren't really going to get out of. And yet, it almost happened. It almost happened. But there was Jamal Musiala to make sure that Bayern Munich win their 11th in a row.
History.
Oh my
That's
gosh.
history.
It's just history.
I love
it. Is
Dortmund have officially have the biggest bottle job ever in the history of football. They depended just on themselves. Just on themselves.
Yeah.
Jude Bellingham on the bench, injured. I felt sorry for Jude Bellingham because he couldn't do anything. He only could support the team. Like, that was so sad to see. So sad to see.
Was.
And, heartbreaking. Reus has never won a Bundesliga title, and this was the best chance. It's just heartbreaking to see. Bellingham now going to Real Madrid.
But start Royce from the get-go. I didn't understand Aiden Terzic's thought process behind that. Like, Jude Bellingham being on the bench when he was injured, fine. Have him there in plain clothes? Why actually take up a roster spot if you're not even going to throw him into the fray? You're convincing people that he's healthy enough to play when you actually have him dressed and you have him warming up on the sideline? The hell was that? And on top of that, but still, on top of that, the three spark plugs that you use, you got Adeyemi going out. Everyone else just did not show up. All those guys that we talked about that contributed to Dortmund's rise to the top over recently, and obviously Bayern contributed to their own, second place demise or hole that they were in leading up to the final match day. Adeyemi, injured and was not showing up to begin with. Daniel Malen, completely absent. Sebastian Haller missed multiple chances when he honestly could have put this thing on ice or got them back into it. In the end, Aiden Terzic turned to who? He turned to a 20-year-old Gio Reyna to provide a spark, who he did. A 17-year-old Julian Duranvale, 17? Yeah. Yep. A winger who provided a lot of the service late in the game that led to some of the most dangerous chances. And then, Mukoko, who did relatively well, who's only 18 years old. So I just don't understand what Terzic was trying to do. I'm at a loss. I'm at a loss. And for many people, you almost could feel that they had lost it before it even started. Mm-hmm. Right? That's kind of what it looked like. It's like, so how is Dortmund going to bottle it this time? Because guess what? Over this 11-year ridiculous reign of terror of Bayern Munich on the Bundesliga, Dortmund have finished second 7 times.
Hey,
7 times.
That's a mad stat.
7 times.
With Tuchel manager, Marco Rose there. Terzic now being one of the managers. That is mad. The club actually made it happen. And Bayern Munich have won their 11th Bundesliga in a row. The 12th Bundesliga of Thomas Müller. No player in the Bundesliga has won more than this man. Football heritage in the making. And Jamal Musiala, you referred to him. Jamal Musiala's hero goal was an iconic moment for this youngster. His goal was the one that made them win the Bundesliga, and he's got 12 goals and 10 assists this season in the Bundesliga. Double digits in both goal involvements. Insane stats and generational talent. They got to keep him. Bayern Munich have to extend Jamal Musiala. If Müller is leaving, if Kimmich is leaving, if Alphonso Davies may be leaving, keep Musiala. Desperately have to get that. And sign players like Wirtz and other players like Frimpong and the league was good. But another mention too is like Coman. Kingsley Coman has won the league every single season he has played football. Like, how? 12 league titles! The same number as Messi! Messi in league titles! And Muller too! Come on!
Yeah.
How can he make this happen? Insane stat. What is this?
In three different countries too. In 3 different countries. No, I mean his skill set is always going to be wanted. And he played a big part. Gnabry played a huge part in this win for them. But this was not Bayern Munich. This was Dortmund's bottle job, and they better own it. Because this was a bizarre season in the Bundesliga. It really was. It was immensely bizarre. We are normally looking at Lewandowski going after Haaland when it comes to the Bundesliga Golden Boot. Yes. This season, Christo Nkunku spent 2 months on in the physio, and he still wound up with a share of the Golden Boot with a guy named Nicholas Füllkrug, who I think it was 16 goals compared to what we normally see in the Bundesliga. Yeah, so you had Dortmund, who I don't think had anybody in double digits the whole season.
It's factual because Haller 2 was injured big time, but that is really well pointed out. Edin Terzic managed to take the best out of the Dortmund team, sharing the goals with Moukoko, Malen, and all the players you mentioned. But mentioning Golden Boots, Nkunku and Füllkrug win the Golden Boot with 16 goals. But Erling Haaland had 17 goals in October in the Premier League. League. That is mad that there's no finishers in the Bundesliga. The biggest change in the Bundesliga was last season you had Haaland and Lewandowski. Lewandowski had 35 goals. 35 goals for Bayern in the Bundesliga. This season, no player has even more than 20. More than 20. Yep. That's the biggest game change.
Barely even over 15, man. We're closer to 15 than we are 20, and you're rounding up because, man, it was a bizarre season.